Hello and welcome to week 5 of the 6-week Publicity Challenge. We are nearly at the end. I hope you really enjoyed last week, all about press releases. If you haven't caught up yet, as you know, just pause and then what you can do is just catch up and fill out your worksheets that that you can download and everything. So this week is all about experts. What I'm going to do is screen share with you and how you can be the influencer so we can get started. Being an expert or positioning yourself as an expert can be one of the easiest ways for you to secure publicity. And probably, if you're going to start somewhere, this might be it. Because you are an expert in your field. If we just have a look at this, what's the definition of an expert? A person who has a comprehensive and authoritative knowledge of or a skill in a particular area. That's you. So I know if we met for a coffee or we spoke on the phone and I asked you about your business and I really wanted to understand, maybe you're in insurance or maybe you're in health, and I asked you the questions, what's changed in the health market? How does your whatever formula you've got help that person? How has it changed them? What are the predictions for the future? You probably will be able to answer all of those questions. So that does make you the expert. Now, you remember me saying the job of the journalist is to interview you and your job is to be a great source of information. Well, that's exactly what you are as the expert. And I think what we don't do is we don't kind of value ourselves, or we're not as comfortable as saying we are an expert. But it's all about first impressions. The only person that's going to position themselves as the expert or say the expert is you. So the best thing you can do is start getting used to thinking about what are you an expert in. And there's probably a few things that you're an expert in. So for me, when I had my business Mums in Control, I was I would say I was a mumpreneur. I was an expert in franchising. I was an expert in business. So there's a few things that I was an expert in helping mums achieve the work-life balance. So have a think about what are you an expert in and write them down as you're listening to this session, because you can tweak it and change it as we go along. And ask people, how do you consider me? Do you consider me an expert? If so, what am I an expert in? Because it'd be interesting to see what their responses are. Now, the benefits of positioning yourself as the expert is it's unbelievable. It really does open doors. It creates opportunities. It builds credibility. And yes, of course, it can bring you more customers, because if someone is going to pick to work with someone and you have been positioned as the expert, and maybe because you've positioned yourself as the expert, you've been featured on radio or on TV, and you've got someone that's looking at your services and of your competitors, who are they going to pick? They're going to pick you, because you are already perceived as the expert. You have put yourself forward as the expert. Other people have referred to yourself as the expert. And it really does open doors and opportunities as well. When I had the magazine Mums in Control, I was asked to organise a Mumpreneur Summit for the Equality and Human Rights Commission, which was unbelievable because I'm not an academic at all. I felt, though, that I didn't deserve to be there, but I actually did. At the end of the day, I've worked really hard with my businesses, and Mums in Control was a massive success. I doubt hundreds, if not thousands of women across the UK achieved their work-life balance. And, I should have been proud and happy to say I was the mumpreneur expert from a franchising point of view. And indeed, I did go on to say that. And then once I started positioning myself as the expert, people then would approach me as the expert. The media would approach me as the expert. See, the media, the journalists, will want to put you in their little black book as something. So it's up to you to guide them, to tell them what you are an expert in. I've done all sorts of interviews. So, obviously we've gone through this program together. You know that you can write a story and submit it. You can be a great case study and get PR that way. Or you can be the commentator and be the expert, the source of information. So what you ideally want to do is to be able to put yourself forward to all of the media where you want to appear, to say, this is what I'm an expert in. These are the topics that I can talk about. Can I help you with any stories? What you should also definitely be doing is always listening out for if there's anything newsworthy that you can respond to and give your opinion on. Now, if you're looking for local regional customers, or even if you just want some publicity from a regional point of view and a local point of view, the regional and local news is always looking to reflect the national news. So if there's something in maybe property prices have just changed, or interest rates have gone up, and you're a financial advisor or you're a property expert, if you know that story's just broken, what you can do then is go to your local BBC radio station, or local regional newspaper, and say, in light of of what's going on with the property market at the moment and the interest rates, I'd be more than happy to offer an expert opinion, or could submit some articles on, how I feel it's going to affect the regional community of XYZ. So there's loads of benefits of positioning your expert. I've done so many interviews. Sometimes they're not really relevant to my business, but does it help me? Yes, of course it does. It, of course, helps me to say, I've been featured on radio or TV. I get phone calls. I used to get phone calls an awful lot when I was doing Mums in Control, because it was more B2C. It was more the consumer market. And I did loads of interviews with Radio WM. And I remember one day they phoned me up, BBC Radio WM, and asked me, could I be interviewed on the local station and just commentate, just as a mum actually, but as a business mum. And they wanted to talk about, I think it was when Cameron was Prime Minister, and they wanted to talk about child tax credits, I think, or something to do with that. And I'm not a politician at all. Anyway, they phoned me in the morning and asked me if I'd do a radio interview, and I remember saying to them, I really can't. My daughter Annabelle was quite small then. She was I was still taking her to school. She wasn't mega small, but so I said, I can't do it in the morning. I'm really sorry. I'd love to help you, but I can't on this occasion. Literally an hour later or 2 hours later, they phoned back and said, oh, could you do a TV interview instead? So it was just amazing. So I literally got featured on TV, Central News, panning from the Prime Minister, then to me, just because they'd got me down in their little black book as an expert. So listen to this interview. I'm going to really get you to think about what are you an expert in and how you can approach the local media. Now, don't forget, with your 6-week publicity challenge, once you complete it week by week, you send all the homework back in the right order, you will be sending us your press release or your introductory email, and this is what this is all about. We could introduce you as the expert. You could just put yourself forward to introduce into the sector that you were interested in, and we'll come on to that in a little bit. But this is some of the media coverage I just had as a working mum. So have a listen. Some of them are relevant to my business, some aren't. Have a listen to this.
Teach someone how to become a good parent. The government seems to think so. They've just spent £3.4 million on a digital information service available on the internet. They'll also be to at 3 o'clock in the morning, has been fed, been watered, so to speak, and won't go to sleep. Because we've all been there. Any of us who've had parents. What does the NHS tell you about that?
It's not going to tell us anything different. That there's initiatives already out there that are supporting parents in the right way. For example, Sure Start centres that they're shut down. Those are great initiatives, and they are still around the country, and they're still delivering parenting classes.
Franchise businesses are becoming more popular, especially with women who have families apparently, and of course need to make money, but they need to be flexible. Mums in Control magazine. It's produced for mums by mums, and the founder is Rachel Taplin, and she joins me now. Morning, Rachel.
Good morning to you.
Hi.
Hello.
Fascinating business here,
Thank you.
especially in this climate.
It is. We're finding more and more so now. I mean, franchising's been around for a lot of years.
More of a burden than those on lower incomes. But it is fair that those with broader shoulders should bear a greater load.
Alongside Harry, another wealth creator, but with another job too, mother. She stands to lose her child benefit and questions that word, fairness.
I do want to obviously play a part, and I know changes need to be made, but we do have to make sure it's fair for everybody. And a lot of the mums that are going to miss out on this benefit, it's going to make a real impact to them. It's going to take away their potential independence.
From state power to people power, that big society spirit blasting through.
Power to the people.
Well, I'm one of his wealth creators. Well, I've got the spirit, but all he's going to do is squeeze me so that my business is even harder.
No applause here, but pockets of appreciation. And when the next election comes round, be assured battle will recommence. Giles Latcham, BBC Midlands Today. Sorry.
So there's just a few of the things that I got featured on as the expert. As I say, I was actually approached by them. because they wanted, somebody it was a national news story. They looked into their little black book. They're always searching for experts that can comment on it. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is think about what you're an expert in and put yourself forward to the media that you want to appear. So, you've already done your top 5 or your top 10 list of who you want to approach, whether it's radio, whether it's TV, whether it's your regional newspapers, and think about, putting yourself forward as the expert. And again, if a news story breaks, make sure that you can replicate it from a regional point of view or even a national point of view, because they will be looking for people to comment. If you haven't already, the media outlets that you want to connect with and you want to appear in, make sure you follow their social media contacts, whether their Twitter account, their Facebook group, a LinkedIn post, maybe if it's a B2B they might have, and then you can comment and put yourself forward in there. So why the media use experts, and what are they looking for in experts? Well, what they're looking for is they want you to be to the point. They quite like you to be controversial sometimes. And they like you to be available first and foremost. And if you're doing an interview, always make sure that if you can use a landline, just in case you've got no signal from your mobile. Sometimes now journalists will interview you and send you the questions and ask you just to comment. And quality is good enough now with all the phones that we've got that you can record your comment and literally send it straight over to them, WhatsApp it over, or email it over to them, and the quality is good enough for them to be able to use. But they're looking for experts all the time. They turn their stories around really quickly. I know we're going over the same things, but they're always under pressure. They're always under deadlines. They don't know what story's going to break tomorrow. They don't know what story's going to break in the next hour. So if you're the expert and that story happens to break, definitely put yourself forward, but almost certainly put yourself forward to the media to tell them what you are and how you can help them. This is a lady called Jo Orgill. She worked with us quite a few years ago now. She joined and she was living in Spain. She'd just come back from living in Spain, and she was a coach, and she was coaching people that kind of wanted to transition from their current job, maybe from the corporate world, into something else. And she subscribed to our daily PR leads and Media Request service, and something came through basically asking for an expert to be featured on the Guardian Online for their careers page. Now, the Guardian Online reach over 500,000 unique users a day. So that's unbelievable. So when you're thinking about where can you be the expert now, don't just think traditional press, don't just think newspaper, radio, TV. Think of all the online websites there are now. We're telling you and teaching you to become the expert stroke influencer. There are so many influencers out there that you could be given, content to. Now, you might be in your business writing regular blogs and regular articles. One of the great things you can do is by positioning yourself as the expert, definitely put yourself a press page on your website, and I'll show you that more in a minute. But think about putting yourself forward as the expert and actually swapping maybe articles with other people, because you are then seen as the influencer. And when you write the article, refer yourself as the career expert or whatever expert you want to be seen as. Make sure you start calling yourself that. One of the things as well to consider is, maybe consider, if you're an expert, what is your expert name? Are you, I could be the publicity queen, or you could be, I don't know, the career changer or the game changer, whatever you're going to be. Think about if there's a name that you can call yourself, and see whether you can actually also take that URL, see if there's a URL available for what you're an expert in. Because if you're going to be interviewed, they've got more chance of remembering the career doctor than they have as probably Jo Orgill. Oh, I'm going to get online with that career doctor, I'm going to, look her up. And then if you've optimised it, they will be able to find you with a touch of a button. So if you can, make things a lot easier for yourself as well. Position yourself as the expert and maybe secure that URL as well. I know obviously what we don't want to do is take them off your web page, but if it's easier for them to find you, even if you set it up and then did a redirect to your web page, it's something to consider. But don't be scared about positioning yourself as the expert. You know, it's just baby steps, like I said right at the beginning. Start with your regional press, your local press, and then build on from there. It could be that you could be on Radio 2 or the Money Box or wherever you want to be featured. All you've got to do is put yourself forward. One of my property clients, again, when the budget review came out about property, she was an estate agent. She'd been 10 years down south somewhere in a very nice area, and we put her forward to Radio 2 as the property expert, and they asked to speak to her, and they also asked her when the review came through, and then she got featured on Sky News to review the newspapers, because she was seen as the expert, as an influencer. So you need to put yourself forward as an expert and influencer, and then think about what other influencers, you know, that may have the same audience as you, and see whether you can swap articles, you know, because you are attracting each other's communities. That's why I'm saying don't think of PR just from a traditional point of view. Think now from a digital point of view, because it's just as if not important. So this is Jo, you know, in her business. We had a chat with her, and this is what she had to say about positioning herself as an expert.
So obviously Jo, straight away within a week, been featured as the expert. Now, The Guardian Online is probably your perfect target market, isn't it? Fantastic, yes. So it's absolutely amazing for her. And, you know, you're obviously good at what you do. Of course. Of course. You're just like us, aren't you? Are you any different from anyone out there?
No, absolutely not.
So would you say that all these guys could be experts?
Yeah. You know your area, you know your business, and I think we're all a bit tough on ourselves sometimes, and we forget actually what we do know. So, you know, just stand up and be proud of it and say, yes, I know this. I'm the expert.
Excellent. Thank you, expert. You will see about that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so that just shows you she, you know, has put herself forward as the expert. Now, this is just something I want to share with you now, is positioning yourself as the expert. This is when it goes back to saying exactly what you're an expert in. Claire Rayner, she's now Claire Bailey. She's always positioned herself as the retail expert, and I've seen her over the years do so many interviews, because now she becomes the go-to person as the retail expert. So I'm just going to come out of this and show you then, in terms of, if we do a Google search, retail expert, as you can see, she comes up literally at the top. So she's named herself the retail champion. So this is what I'm saying with your URL. Think about if you want to position yourself as the expert. What she's done is, she used to have a press page. What she's done is now she's actually put some of her interviews actually on her homepage. But I just want to show you some of the interviews she's done. Yes, of course she knows what she's talking about, but probably you do too. And not only has she become the influencer, she's actually sold, you know, so many different businesses. She's a keynote speaker. She does workshops. You know, she sells to retail. She teaches people success. She's got a marketing company as well. But have a look at just some of her interviews, how she's positioned and perceived as the retail expert. Okay, so just have a look at her, some of her interviews.
With me, a retail expert, author of the book Retail Champion.
With me now to look at these issues is the retail expert, Claire Rayner.
Retail expert, Claire Rayner. Joining me now is retail expert, Claire Rayner.
Retail expert, Claire Rayner.
Claire Rayner. Claire Rayner.
Claire Rayner.
Claire Rayner.
Claire Rayner, retail expert.
The decorations are up and the retailers have got all sorts of products out to entice us to spend more money with them. But are we really getting value for money from our pre-packaged Christmas items?
Isn't it called a man surge or something that today?
Yeah, well, apparently yesterday was the biggest shopping day ever recorded, and retailers reported that it was mainly frantic men.
So to leave it all to the last minute.
Yeah.
What Westfield have created is a fun environment. There's eating, there's shopping, there's vibrancy.
You're not being paid by them, are you?
No, it's a wonderful
A whole
place.
day, 45 minutes is as much as I can manage.
Well, that's a personal choice. But if you're going to the local town centre, it's slightly different. It's not, not the same at all.
Understood, Claire. Thanks very much. Yes, that's a personal choice.
Yeah.
You silly little man.
No, listen, I'm with you.
So, in terms of what the 10 Steps to Retail Success is all about,
Essentially, it's a methodology that I've designed which encompasses all of the key ingredients that can help make consumer-facing businesses successful.
The creative reuse of empty shops is going to be quite important to bring vibrancy and vitality back to town centres and to draw people back in. And I think one of the reasons that town centres have been struggling is because they've become very samey, they've been accused of being clone towns, and now with the rise of the independent retailers and the arts and crafts and the leisure experiences that are moving in, that really brings things back to life for the people like you and me who would want to go out and use them. What we've got going on is an environment where if you run an online-only business, you can get a warehouse to do with...
I'll pause it there. I won't shoot you too much more because it gives you an idea. You can always go to her website. If you just Google the retail expert, you will find her. But hopefully your brain is ticking now, thinking, right, what can I position myself as an expert at? And you can see how she's done it so cleverly. She has become the go-to person on her website. So as I say, think about putting yourself forward as the expert and what you're an expert in. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known as? As I say, ask your associates, the people that you work with, your friends, your family. Next time you go networking, ask them to say what you feel you're an expert in, because you might find some absolute little gems. As I say, she's then gone on to establish her business as a keynote speaker. She's diversified slightly because she's done and been so successful as the expert. So one of the things I wanted to do was just to give you a bit of confidence, to show you, this isn't just me saying this, the media are always looking for experts, and I wrote to the BBC Breakfast and just asked them, you know, if we were looking for experts, how should we approach you? What is it you're looking for? And these are the questions and the answers that I put to them. So I said, how do you find your experts? They said a range of sources. We meet people at events, we have trusted PRs, and some of them contact us directly. So see what I did there? Because as long as I say you're going and you're contacting the relevant person, so if you're in health, you want to contact the health editor or health and beauty editor. If you're in technology, take the time to find the right contacts. As I probably said before, if you're looking at all the technology contacts or the manufacturing contacts or beauty, I do have a media database that we can give you access to, that you can subscribe to. It's unbelievable. It has all their social media accounts, it has access to all their Twitter accounts and their LinkedIn accounts, as long as I've obviously given it to us. But you can see what they're writing about as well, and you can search by influencers. So what this is basically saying here is, yes, you can contact them directly. We said, what do you look for in experts? They want plain speaking. Can they get a complex story across easily? Are they available? So can they join us on location or in the studio? And are they impartial? We don't want anyone on air plugging their business. Now, this is real, real etiquette. Your job, as I said, is to be a great source of information. The job of the journalist is to interview you. You may get away with it once by mentioning your company name, but do it too many times, they will not ask for you back, and they may just edit it out. So think about the long-term game. Whatever PR you do, whatever media coverage you get, you can always capture it and put it onto a press page on your website afterwards. So just think about, the long-term benefits. So make sure that you not too much on air plugging. You certainly can do it from a regional point of view. You can slip in the company, and rather than keep saying go to www.Mums in Control, just say something like Mums in Control, this is what we do. So make sure, have a practice and make sure you just build it in naturally. So we asked, do you keep the contacts to use again in the future for future articles? And they've put, a lot of the time we keep contacts if they do well on air. Occasionally we might follow up a story. Now what this means is, if you're being interviewed as the expert, and maybe you're an expert on health now, you've got a health business, but you might have lost, 10 stone in weight yourself or overcome adversity in some way, they might see this human interest story there and they might want to follow that up. And I've seen this happen time after time. So make sure you're very careful what you give away of what you're an expert in, what you want to reveal about yourself. Don't give something too personal away, and make sure it's always one of your key messages, that it's in line with your business values. As I said, I've said so many times, PR is not about ego. It's about making sure you're positioning the company, credibility, and getting the right kind of customers. Do they share contacts? Yes, both with Breakfast and other business news teams within the BBC. I know this for a fact. ITV, BBC have finally got everything online now, all their contacts, and they do share contacts. There's still a lot of traditional journalists out there that will have their own contacts and hold on to them for dear life. We're now developing a search for an expert service where we can connect you direct to journalists, and journalists will be able to search for you and find you with a touch of a button, because they constantly need fresh experts to talk to. Yes, some of them they will keep going back, but they want fresh experts. They'll also want diversity. They do want women. They want from different ethnic backgrounds. They want diversity that reflect the audience. So, you know, if you can help them, put yourself forward as the expert. We ask business owners send their expert profiles and story ideas for you to keep on file, and if so, where to. Now, I'm not going to give the details today, but she said, I'm happy to receive submissions on email, but do not want to be bombarded. I prefer people only to contact me if they have an expert on a particular news story. It's most annoying to get loads of PR sending companies just because they're interesting. 99% of the time, they're not interesting at all. They just want a free ad. Now, this goes back down to making sure PR is about telling a story, not selling your business. And this is what a lot of the media get fed up with. You know, you need to approach them to help them, not to just put yourself forward. So, as I say, a lot of this is down to approaching the right type of journalist within your sector, within your niche, within your speciality. So make sure you target, you take a bit of time to find the right people, or speak to me, just email support@blueboo.co.uk about having a demo on the media database, and I'll show you how that works. You can literally have access to every single media contact for just £220 a month over a 12-month period. So that's £220 times 12. But it's, you know, one article could absolutely transform your business. As I say, a client of mine, she was the relationship coach, and she got the details for, was it the Times, the Telegraph, and as literally targeting the right person, she had a double page spread, and it had a value of over £150,000 to her business. So it's worthwhile finding the right types of people specifically for you. So I'm going to ask you, what are you an expert in? I'm just going to play you this, and there's something else I want to cover off before I play this. If you're a bit scared or a little bit nervous, just be reassured that the media are constantly turning the stories around really quickly. You know, people are in or out as experts. They haven't really probably got the time to be able to do full due diligence to see whether you're an expert. You're always going to know more than they do. If you don't know the answer, just say, do you know, that's a really good question, I don't know, or practice questions that you don't know the answers to, so you become a great politician and you can diversify. But this will hopefully reassure you. This is a scenario. One of the TV channels was interviewing a technology music expert on how music has changed over the years. Now, this is quite an old interview. You may have seen this already, or I may have shown you this already. But the guy called Guy Cooney was waiting to be interviewed, and the producer came down to collect him. Now, the taxi driver in reception was picking up Guy Cooney, and the producer came down the stairs, said Guy Cooney. The taxi driver thought, oh, that's obviously for me because I'm picking him up. And the taxi driver got whisked upstairs, mic'd up, and this is what happened.
For the industry and the growth of music online. Well, Guy Cooney is the editor of the technology website News Wireless. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Were you surprised by this verdict today?
I'm very surprised to see this verdict to come on me, because I was not expecting that. When I came, they told me something else, and I'm coming. You got an interview, so it's a big surprise anyway.
A big surprise?
Exactly.
Yes, yeah. With regards to the cost that's involved, do you think now more people will be downloading online?
Actually, if you can go everywhere, you're going to see a lot of people downloading to the internet and the website, everything they want. But I think it's much better for the development and to improve people what they want and to get on the easy way and so fast the things they're looking for.
This does really seem to be the way the music industry is progressing now, that people want to go onto the website and download music.
Exactly. You can go everywhere on the cyber cafe and you can check. You can go easy. It's going to be a very easy way for everyone to get something to the internet.
Thank you, thanks very much indeed. I think we can now also speak to...
The poor guy. Now, honestly, you're watching that, your brain is probably thinking, oh my God. But the point of this is, if he can do it, You can do it. He got on and blagged his way through. You know your subject matter. You're passionate about your business. You've set your business up because you either provided a solution or you want to help somebody. So that makes you the expert. You are the influencer. Start putting yourself forward as the influencer. Perception is reality. If they think and keep seeing that you're saying that you're the retail expert or that you're the health expert, they are going to believe it. Now, I'm not asking you to lie or to make anything up. You better know your subject matter inside out. But I'm guessing because you're looking for publicity, you do know your subject matter inside out and you're happy to be positioned as the expert. Now, one of the easiest ways to secure publicity is actually just to introduce yourself to the journalist as the expert. I know that's quite scary, but an introductory email really does open doors and create opportunities for you. Now, in Media Matchmaker Club, you will find there's, and I'll put it in the download, there's introductory email examples. These work really well, whether you're business to consumer, whether you're business to business. It's a great way, and we'll give you some examples there. You know, there's some that you can look at. As I say, they're all in the club that you can download. But they work really well. So it's basically just giving a highlight of your bio, what you do, what you specialise in, and some of the topics that you can talk about. Because sometimes the journalists know what their forward features are going to be, what discussions they're going to talk about, and sometimes they also like to add experts into their little black book. So don't always feel you need a PR story to get publicity. You could put yourself forward as the expert and introduce some ideas for topics and articles, and then they can approach you. So that is an absolutely great way. So your homework this week, if you like, for your worksheet, is to come up with your introductory email. So as I say, you'll see some examples and of the structure for you to follow, for you to download. There'll be a template there. And it's just a great way for you to have a play with it. More is less. I mean, it might be that you have different introductory emails for maybe different sectors that you want to approach. So it might be you're in cybersecurity, as one of our members is, but you maybe just want to go into the manufacturing or engineering kind of overall, or you might just want to do business in general. So your introductory email will be slightly tweaked. So always remember right from the beginning, match your email, your press release, your introduction, your bio to the outlet that you are going to. So make sure it's personalised. But hopefully you can download, the intro emails, come up with your own as well, and send those out. Now, if you need help with approaching the journalists, I know we're going to be talking about that next week as well, and how to actually physically approach them, let me know. We can always look at a media list for you, and also connecting you via the database so you can send these emails out really easily. But today I just want you to think about your introductory email, get it down, and actually start approaching some journalists with it. So right at the beginning, you put your top 10 list together. So if you haven't got a press release or a story or a case study, all of those ideas, just start with an introductory email. Hopefully you found this week useful. There's been lots packed in there. I think I've used these examples to show you how easy it can be. Not only it has been from myself, but from others people's point of view. This gets results, and it's time to step up and start seeing you as an influencer. If we met for coffee, as I said, genuinely you'd be able to tell me about your business, and hopefully you believe that if I don't use your services, my life is not quite the same, or you're definitely going to help me, so you should be proud of it. You're helping people by offering the products and services that you do. So get out there, be brave, and start positioning yourself as the expert. Good luck with everything, and I shall see you next week for week 6, our final week, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Have a good week. Take care.